And let's start with Cynthia Machada, who is from Connecticut. She works in marketing and communications.
Hi, Congressman. My question for you tonight is about anti-interventionist. So you've been known for being anti-interventionist, which is the U.S. not going into wars that are backing anti-regime or regime change. But yet you do fight in the military, and thank you for your service. But my question for you is, how can you be both an anti-interventionist and also serve in the military?
Thank you. Thank you very much for this important question that is personal to me, but is important to all of us as Americans. I'm a soldier. I have served now in the Army National Guard now for nearly 15 years. I'm a major, and I've deployed twice to the Middle East. In Congress, I've served on the Foreign Affairs Committee, in the Armed Services Committee, Homeland Security's committees now for over the last 6 years, so I have a very personal understanding as well as an understanding from Washington about the cost of war and who pays the price. During my first deployment to Iraq, I served in a medical unit where my very first task every single day was to go through a list of names of every single American service member who had been injured in combat the day before. This was the first thing I did every day for the year that I was deployed. And every day, seeing in such a heart-wrenching way who pays the price. And my brothers and sisters who never made that trip home, who paid that ultimate price. And those who did, coming home with wounds, both visible and invisible, that they would continue to struggle with for years after. My position and my commitment in fighting to end these counterproductive regime change wars is based on these experiences and my understanding the cost of war and who pays the price. Yes, it is our service members. It is our troops. It is our military families. It is the people in these countries where these wars are waged whose suffering ends up far worse after we launch these regime change wars. But it is also every single one of us here. Every single American is paying for these wars through our taxpayer dollars, trillions of our taxpayer dollars being spent, dollars that should be used to invest in and to meet the needs and serve the needs of people here at home, to pay for things like healthcare and education, to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. So as a soldier, I stand ready to serve and protect and defend this country. And as a soldier, I know the cost of war. And as president and commander-in-chief, I will end these regime change wars. I will work to end this new Cold War and this nuclear arms race that is costing us trillions. And again, take those resources, those limited resources, and use them to serve the needs of people here.
Which wars would you end when you're talking? I mean, that's a lot that you just laid out there.
It is a lot, but this is the threat that we're facing. Regime change wars that we are seeing still being carried out in Syria. Regime change wars that this current administration is threatening to carry out in countries like Venezuela, laying down the groundwork to carry out a regime change war in Iran. We see throughout decades how this policy has persisted through both Democrat and Republican administrations and the negative impact that these wars have caused.